Let's look into how to prepare for CAPF Interview 2022. Right. So the first thing you should keep in mind while attempting interview this year is the detailed application form. Remember, the time you enter the boardroom where the board will be sitting in front of you, they'll not be knowing you. Only piece of document they'll know you from is your DAF. And most likely in DAF also, just the summary sheet. Just the summary sheet. And that is why it becomes the most important document to prepare well. And when I say prepare well, what are the major things to prepare? Of course, I'll talk a little more about additional to these points given. But DAF is the single point, the most important document to prepare. From where you belong or where you worked, be aware about that city and state. When I say about city and state, does not mean where it is located. Okay, geographical features keeping apart, historical significance of that place. If you belong from a particular state, current issues in those states, right? Then about the basically socioeconomic challenges faced in that state. That is important because usually that reflects your interest or your attachment or your understanding from where you belong, right? Your hobbies. I've gone through many DAFs till now, and one thing I've realized while asking question is that people are not taking too much of in-depth interest in their hobbies when they're listing it out. That has to be the most important because hobbies does not mean that, okay, I like doing this, but are you passionate enough to follow it? That is why it is finding the place in your hobbies list. Have you done enough research in it? Let's say it's about chess. Okay, so I like playing chess. Then someone asks, okay, what are the various formats of chess? What are the recent tournament? Who won that tournament? Or rankings? Who's currently the highest ranked Indian player in classical chess? Are you going kind of openings in chess? So this is one. I like running, but when I ask them what is the difference between a marathon and a half marathon, what is the basic difference and exact kilometer, or what is a steeplechase, how much Olympic, what category steeplechase is happening. So see, this is something a little more effort you need to do. Reading books, what kind of books do you have a brief summary of it? At least a brief picture. I want you to prepare that, your hobbies properly. Now, one of the most important and most frequently asked question is service preference. Why CISF? 80 to 90% of you would have listed that out. Or why ITBP? Why SSB? Firstly, please know what is the function, what is the duty of each and every of these organizations, right? So that is the first thing. So go through their Wikipedia pages, know their motto, be it CRPF, CISF, BSF, ITBP, SSB. Their overall function, how do they function? Then why have you selected this service? And remember one thing, this should be you in that answer. There should be why. It shouldn't be because it has very dynamic. Okay, I understand that everybody is saying that, but that one line which defines you in that has to be there. That has to be there. You have to be honest, right? Yes, honesty has to be there, but a little more clarity of why that force. Okay. Know the motto and work profiles of all forces that. See, these are major highlights from DAF. But in DAF, there are certain more things. Your educational record. Why you shifted from this stream to that stream. What you have been doing from, in last 2-3 years when you have not studied. Like that. All things, all questions. So what you do is you write a question which can come out of it. And then see how would you answer that? And then see what can be the counter questions of the same. This is how we prepare for DAF. The next thing, so this is the most important document for you to prepare first, is detailed application form and the way I've told you. So the next thing is current affairs. Why current affairs? See, stage 1 has already checked your knowledge. right? That is fine. Stage 2 has already checked your physical capability. That is the, now is the time to see what's happening around. Are you aware? One, and then do you have a good enough opinion on it? When I say good enough, that means followed by or justified by good arguments with data, facts, examples. Okay. So that is where very important is that you have to be an aware. Board expects you to be an aware citizen. Number 2, knowledge has already been checked. Opinion matters. So your opinion, the quality of opinion, your ability to explain an issue with clarity and concise answers, very important. Now, how do you approach it? How do you prepare for current affairs? I'm not saying you go for 1 year current affairs, read everything, who's won this, that. No. Right now, immediately every day, read newspaper, one thing. Number 2, May onwards, try to cover current affairs from any monthly, at least. And very, very important are the certain areas like defense, security, internal security, international relations, technology. These are some basic, of course, some political developments, but from non-political perspective. Now I'll tell you a method to approach current affairs, to prepare. Many people, start preparing, endlessly keep on doing. Okay, we don't know where to end. Why you're starting from, the problem is we start from bottom. That is why we don't know where to end. So that now you make your newspaper or a basic thing you're aware of, start from there and break it down further, rather reverse engineering method. Prime Minister Modi was in United States on a state visit. Okay, what is a state visit? What were the agreements signed? Okay, this agreements. What were the purchases? What are the major agreements in past which India and US have signed? History of India-USA relations. At least this is how you can break it down. Simplify it. Manipur crisis, Manipurish. Current situation, riots are happening. Immediate cause. Okay. Current situation. The approach of both state and central governments. Is presidential rule a viable option? This is how you break it down. I'm not saying that you prepare at micro level. Just pick up macro topics and try to firstly reverse engineer and create opinions about it with a little effort of data clarity. Just don't keep beating around the bush. Clear, concise, just a little preparation. See, I'm not sure what board will ask, but board wants balanced personality. And balanced personality is someone who justifies of who he or she is through his or her DAF, and someone who's very much aware about what's happening around and able to say it clearly in front of them in a very crisp, concise manner, but with full confidence. Ability to, so that which reflects your personality as well. So this is how you currently, should prepare for current affairs immediately starting today. Till your interview, including the day of your interview, read the newspaper. Don't miss out. Even if it is morning session, get up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. Read half an hour, 40 minutes, just the headlines of that day. Many a times I have seen a board member has just freshly read a newspaper and immediately asked, in today's newspaper, this was there. What is this? Okay. This is how you should prepare current affairs. Third thing I talked about, soft skills, which is highly underrated. Nobody will tell you. Now I'll tell you one by one and break it down. Posture. When I say everyone's, says, okay, this is hands, this is just above your knee. This is how you sit. Fine. Back straight, everything fine. But if you see, it is making me stiff when I'm looking here and there. Of course, if you've seen me speaking earlier, I've been using hands. That is the third part, hand gesture. Posture should be, of course, confident, not sulky. Confident. There's a difference. And eye contact. Posture is confident, you can see the difference. And sulky, you can see the difference it makes when I'm talking to you, right? But hand gestures can sometimes see how human communication works. Voice, through voice, maybe 25-30%. Eye contact, 5-7%. Hand gestures are add 10-15 more percent. Then comes voice modulation. If you've heard me again, voice modulation. What is voice modulation? Emphasizing on the areas where I need to emphasize upon. Where I need to just quickly go through, I can just quickly say those sentences in a one dimensional, one tone, right? That is voice modulation. If you club all the 1, 2, 3, 4, it's around 60 to 70, 60%. Facial expressions. And in this, I'll talk about having a blank face. And I'm talking like this. Does it shows confidence? No. A question on your hobby, you can, at least you can give a little smile and say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, I do follow that. It leaves a very good impression, nice, to be very honest, right? Don't show anger. Don't show anxiety. A little nervous is fine to start with, everyone is. How quickly you become calm and talk as if it's a conversation, that matters. And facial expression, of course, good eye contact, a smile on face, all these things are part of facial expression also. Confidence. I've seen, many times 2 question, 3 question, you're not able to answer. With that, voice is lowering. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're waiting that trauma to end. Don't think till the last word is said that this is a trauma. You just need one question to leave an impact there. Just one question. I scored 121 in interview in 2012, though it was conducted in 2013. It was 20 for like you guys, right? So when I went out, I had a good feeling. It went well. Not because I answered everything. No, I didn't answer everything. Out of 11 questions asked, I only was able to answer 6. 5 I said, 4 I said, I'm sorry, I'm unable to recall. I'm really apologize that I cannot think this at this moment. Okay, fine, that's fine. But one I, in fact, so confidently answered wrong, very confidently, this is the answer. And it was wrong. But in remaining 6, I was absolute honest, and I felt that when I was talking to the board member, I connected. They are here to see you. This is a personality test, and that is where I'll come to in the subsequent slides. I'll talk about all those dimensions as well. So what is situational awareness and response? Now, there can be certain questions where you are given a particular situation. Okay, X and Y, how would you do in this situation? What would you do? Now, everyone who does not have an experience would think of what is an ideal approach. But not every situation, ideal approach is practical approach. What is the difference? For example, you are an assistant commandant. You have a law and order situation where there is a riot kind of situation. Okay. You pick up today's newspaper and read today's newspaper. Army has said we have released certain kooky militants to ease the situation. Was it an ideal approach? I don't think so. Was it a practical approach? Yes. To avert further riots, to assess the situation because the situation was getting out of hand. So like they might put you, okay, you're an assistant commander leading, there is a mob coming and they are with arms. What will you do? Some will say, sir, given the protection of my men, my people, I'll ask my people to fire. Firstly, warnings were announced on speakers? No. Any air firing was done? No. Barricading? No. Then directly fire? See, these are certain things, a little more thought should go in there. problem solving attitude. That is where this, you shouldn't see ideal. When I say ideal, sometimes someone goes by ideal approach, fine. But is it solving the problem? No. Then it is not right approach. So every time what you should have is, when a situation is given, you should have a problem solving attitude. Okay, this is the problem, how we can reach the solution. Now there is a very thin bandwidth of not following the law, or following the, within that you have to work, not going against law. Okay. Answer should reflect traits of an officer: leadership, teamwork, which I've written here, team player, integrity, decision making, clarity. Right? I'm talking to you. Let's say the day one you will be joining the force, you will be told to brief 100 people in front of you. And you cannot be, right? You have to say, and you have to tell the decision, this is what we're going to do, right? And not just 100, and certain times you have to do 200, 300, 500. Those things should reflect in that situation when you're answering it. The mindset of the board should be, yes, this is the candidate we want. Okay, we were giving him 110, but there might be a chance he or she might be eliminated. Let's give 120. Let's not leave a chance. This is the difference between 110 and 120. Let me tell you, there's no difference. Then who's scoring 110, who's scoring 120? 110 they give when they like, everything is good. But when the board is passionate, unanimous choice, everyone, yes, we want this person badly, that is 120. Okay. Right. And you should be don't say, I'll do this, I'll do that. If I am doing this, I'll do that. We will do this. We are a team. You have to show yourself as a team player. See, the times are changing. I know there's a hierarchy in uniform services, but I tell you, I've got a good enough taste of all these services. Today, you need to be a team player. You cannot say strictly direct and get the work done. Impossible today, right? So these are certain things in situational awareness questions. Your response should have these things in mind. I hope it is clear. Moving ahead, and very, very important now, is the common mistakes. And these are very common. Each and every one of you who've given interview or planning to give interview right now, or who have given mock, can relate with it or have done it. Let me one by one touch them. Long answers. Okay, tell me about yourself or introduce yourself. Well, I'm this and this. I belong to this district. I've done this. I have this many I have brothers. My parents do this. I've done schooling there. And don't tell your entire DAF in your introduction. Be brief. Okay, what about this situation? 5 minutes, you just see the connect. Is the board member losing interest? You have to keep a discussion engaging. There is no particular time limit for an answer, but the time when the answer becomes too long and you're just rattling continuously means keep on saying, after there'll be disconnect for sure. You cannot keep them engaged. So keep answers brief. So long answers is a big mistake. Second is answering everything, even if you don't know. This is the biggest mistake. Okay, if we need to get 110, we need to answer everything. This is not possible. Okay. I am example sitting in front of you. Out of 11, I couldn't answer 4 or 5 correctly. Or couldn't answer that. But I scored 121. This is a personality test. This is not an interview. Knowledge has already been checked. You're scoring good enough marks to be sitting here today. Okay. So don't need to answer everything if you're not sure. Of course, you'll answer when you're sure, but don't answer when you're unsure or you're not. Don't just say, just with the fear that I may lose out on marks. Be honest. Not preparing your DAF well is one of the biggest common, which I've already discussed, that this is something many, in fact, after even saying it to you, you will see people taking it lightly. Okay, I know myself. But sometimes we've written things ourselves not very sure of. Right. So what I'm sorry, I'll just go back to that. So you need to prepare your DAF every single point, double check it, make sure you have what kind of questions can come out of it, what answers you're giving, everything. Panicking too early. Oh, I'm unable to answer 1, 2. Now you're panicking. Your voice is shaking. You're ready. It's gone. Interview is gone. Don't do that. Don't do that mistake. 1, 2 questions, 3 questions you couldn't answer. Fine. Until the last question is asked, I'm still in. Until the last question is asked, I am still in. Right? That means I can still get 100, 500 plus 110. You just sometimes even one question will work in your favor. That can change it, immediately change the entire way the board is thinking about you. So don't panic too early. It's fine if your answers are tough. Don't let the confidence in your voice go down. Don't let your body language sulk. Don't let you become too defensive also. Okay. Being rigid about speaking in English. This is a practical situation. Now you're in front of board. You are more comfortable in speaking Hindi. You started with English. Somehow that what you want to speak, expression is not coming up. You are unable to convey that properly. Given a choice, you can either ask, so can I speak with your permission in Hindi? Or if the board says, please go ahead and speak in Hindi if you're comfortable. Don't say, no, I'll speak in English. I know people who have done this and has affected their marks significantly. This interview is not about Hindi and English. It's about the expression. Are you able to express yourself who you are? That is important. Okay. Trying to be someone who you're not. That is very big mistake. Biggest. Many people write these hobbies which you've never done. Okay, now the DAF is gone, fine. But many areas, what many people do is that they, I would request everyone just to, make your audio on mute. Yeah. So what they do is that they want to project that our profile is not good enough. Hence, we'll try to become something. I tell you, board duty, day in, day out, is every single day to meet people, talk to them. For them, catching that this is not you. This is fake is very easy. Very easy. Be your natural self. Be who you are. What you believe in. Right? Your understanding of things. This is the beauty. They do not want one-dimensional people for this job. Every kind of people they want. Maybe someone is a team player. This is good. He is a good team player. Let's take him in. He's a good leader. Seems like, shown leadership skills and is talking very comfortably, right? Take it, say, don't try to be your natural self. Be honest. Be humble. Be polite. Just be you. Don't become anyone else in the interview. Bluffing. Don't bluff with certain questions. I'll just bluff it. Okay, what? Their board won't know this. They will be knowing this. Don't bluff. Don't bluff with okay, I'll just say this is what, certain questions which are too personal, a little can work. But most of the questions, it won't work. Stiff body language is a big one. Sitting like this throughout, and even your neck is moving very in a stiff way. It shows your nervousness. It shows that you are still not confident. The thing is that idea is 4 to 5 people are sitting in front of you. If you're still nervous, then 100 people will be standing in front of you to hear you. How will you feel? That is why they try to make you comfortable in 4-5 minutes. They'll say, okay, relax. It will be a relaxed interview. It is we who make it complex for us. Remember this. It is we who make it complex for us. It is the very relaxed interview. You have to just, while sitting outside waiting, just take deep breaths. Fine, 2-3 minutes, there is nervousness, fine. But feel that I'm here for conversation and I'll engage in conversation. Okay. So body language. So that is why those gestures and keeping yourself light will reflect in your body language. Forces isn't about work-life balance. This is one of the things which I've heard a lot when I've asked about a question of why this force or why that force. Because this force will give me work-life balance. The day you've decided to wear this uniform, forget about work-life balance. Don't ever say this. Okay, don't say this. Work-life balance is for those who are looking for civilian jobs or corporate jobs or other. But here you're coming for what? A service. In service, you volunteered for something, but government is good enough to pay you something for it. This is the reality. So never answer, yes, I want to join CSF because it provides me a very good work-life balance. Then say, okay, fine, good. Go where you'll find work-life balance. We'll send you there. I'm being honest. Even if you go to CSF, forget the work-life balance. Practical. Because see, forces nature is this. This is what you'll be serving. Fine, of course, and that is what you'll be trained for. When we'll be going for commando or training for morning 4 a.m. to 10 p.m., sometimes night, 2 nights you won't sleep. Okay, this is the nature of work because you are made to work. Attack won't happen asking time. Okay, okay, they must be sleeping, so we won't attack. No, it can happen 2 a.m., 3 a.m. You have to be ready. Work-life balance is out of question. This is a big mistake. Taking it as interview, not personality. They will check my knowledge. So this is an interview. They are going to give me a job. Of course, they are going to give you marks. Your previous marks will carry forward. But they're only going to see your personality. Only your personality, not your knowledge overall. Of course, see, knowledge is there. You are speaking something. It shows. But how confidently you're speaking. So the matter is not what. It is about how. This is the difference. Dishonest. Bluffing, dishonest, but again, be honest while answering. Sometimes simplicity works like amazing. Little things. Even, oh, I was a monitor in class. Wow, how good you monitor you were. I used to do this. Simplicity, but with honesty, can lead you to become, the impact can still be huge. Don't worry your DAF about your DAF. Okay, I don't have good enough profile, this and that. Right? So I hope, the questions, the mistakes I've listed out, you've reflected on that and you might be committing till now, or you might have been thinking about it, but don't make these mistakes. So this was basically about common mistakes. Now my recommendation for those who are going to, give interviews. So time is less and time is money. Time is important. Don't think of 10 mocks. 10 mocks means 10 people, different people giving you 10 different feedback, which will leave you confused. Absolutely confused. Lesser the better. Those who are giving in first week itself, I find them lucky because they'll have less time to go in multiple areas. To be very honest, 3 to 10 July, whosoever are having interviews, you need to give 1 mock. Max. 1 mock is good enough. Just reflect on that, work on that. 11 to 20 July, who are having interview, 2 mocks are good enough. 1 with detailed feedback and 1 with, working on that and giving it a second one. Don't go for more than 2 institutes or 2 coaching or whatever, 2 people, right? I request you that. It'll leave you confused. See, everyone will start thinking from their own dimension. Someone will say, okay, no, this is wrong. This is how it is. I'll tell you bulk of them. 80-90% of the board has never given interviews. Many people you'll find, but they'll be saying this is how it is done. So this is the practical thing. 21 to 27, whosoever giving can give up to 3 marks. This is my recommendation. Moving forward, if you feel that you still are not able to find, or if you need our help, if you need, I'm there. I conduct online one-on-one. So if you will have these options, I'll share it with you later on. But for candidates, this is how I'm conducting separately. For more information, visit CAPF Access. This is what I'm running. Fine. But now I am looking forward to your questions. Yes. One by one, raise your hand. And then I'll name that person, and then they can go accordingly. Okay. If there's any question, I'm ready for. Okay. Ankur Mishra can now unmute and ask his question.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for the session, sir.
Yeah.
So am I audible?
Yes, you are, Ankur.
Yes, sir. So my first preference is CISF, sir, and my second preference is SSB. And I thought that I would reason about the preference that I love the diversity of India, and I wanted a post which has a pan-India presence. That I could
Every
witness
force almost has a pan-India presence. See, of course, it is good option. CSF is in more diverse places. Talk about the challenges and how you can contribute as well.
Okay,
many people have heard, yes, they have all India presence. It'll give me a lot of expo. It's good. But don't make it a first point. Make it second or third. Okay.
So the first point, can I make that I wanted to be connected with the people? The service to the people at the first hand is something.
Then why not IAS and IPS?
Sir, I have been trying for civil services as well.
See, connected with people, again, it is fine, but not. See, you have to understand what CSF stands for, firstly.
Right. Sir.
And now, what you can bring it and what you are passionate about it relate. Of course, travel is fine. I'm not saying this, discouraging you not to speak about it. But say that for me, it is about, see, everyone, I cannot say this is what you speak and 20 people will be speaking that. No, you have to find that. Sometimes when I go through someone's profile, I cannot say right now about you. I've been going through DAF and I've been working with students, and then I realize that this is who they are. And then I guide them that why don't you speak on these lines?
Right.
And they agree with that. Okay, yes. So for that, I feel you need to go through your DAF, plus look into, just question yourself and then say, okay, this is something more relatable with CISF for me. And, and it does not, so it can be very simple also, very simple. I, from my beginning, have seen the working on day-to-day basis, something which have, really been passionate about that uniform. So I never thought of any other forces, but CSF as my first choice. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Like that.
So I can just mention, sir, that CISF has a very challenging role. And also the fact
every
that
CIS, every force have a challenging.
Right.
And to be very honest, go see CRPF duty today.
Right.
See how challenging duty they have. So every force has, but do not say CSF is a challenging role, because they.
I mean the diversity, sir, they have.
Diversity you can surely speak out. Right. Yes, thank you, Ankur. Now, yes, Anand, you can ask first.
Sir, more than asking about what is your first preference, they try to grill what is your last. My last is CRPF. So they try to bring you to the level that you say something negative about CRPF and they.
Yeah. So they try to, but try not to. See, to be very honest, again, say a little honesty can work. That it's, I know that they have a very hard fight, but if you can directly talk about, as far as I know, there's currently only discouraging thing in these CRPF is the long wait for promotions. And this has been, whereas in CSF, ITBP, SSB, the promotional avenues are better. This, even though then they'll say, okay, you are going there for promotions and career growth. Say, of course, in 4-5 initial 3-4 years, it won't matter, but then it will. Be honest.
Yes.
Why can't you mention? Unless it is good good light means that you're talking. See, you have, say, I have respect. So once, for each and every force, CRPF is working in, let me very tough conditions. And also the officers, the kind of conversations I've had with serving officers, they themselves have recommended that you can opt for others. You can say that.
Yes, sir. In some of the mock interviews, they've grilled for that also. Why? The promotions or what?
Right. Yeah. And it's fine. See, honesty, it won't negatively affect your interview, but you shouldn't speak bad about a force. No, they are. See, one thing is promotional is a problem. There are all these forces are fighting court cases. They got some kind of relief, but again, that has been stayed for some reason. But there is a kind of struggle going on in court. But you can say it's a little demoralizing factor for me because at the same time, I'm a person who's sincere. But at the same time, if I'd be rewarded with timely promotions, I'll be happy.
Sir, one more thing. Where can we get your transcripts? Have your transcript for the interview you gave, 2012 or 13?
Yeah, I do have a certain kind of questions, which I can share that link. Mrunal took the interview in 2013. So I'll share that interview link.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Abhishek can now go ahead and ask his question.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Sir, I have not mentioned in my DAF my PhD. Right now I'm pursuing my doctoral, from December 2022. So should I tell this in the interview?
Yes.
Because
You
after
should.
2019, I've completed my post graduation in 2019. I'm not doing.
There are two areas where you can answer it. One in introduction, if you feel there is a chance to answer. If not, if they go into your educational profile, then you can jump in and ask about, say about that. Okay.
So what type of questions they would ask me about PhD? My area is sociology. What type of questions related to defense they can ask about sociology?
You see, today in force, people, interaction with people and working with your own people is on regular basis, right? And there are many incidents on day-to-day basis with respect to stress related and all. So understanding the mindset or the overall, the kind of atmosphere they are working in, my PhD understanding, of course, will help there, where I can better understand, the overall functioning and the stress, and I can come in and recommend the, sector headquarter or zone headquarter, whatever are there, to take certain measures so that, see, and secondly, the qualification, better the qualification, more areas, because then there are welfare posts are there in various sectors, right? You can go there if you've done certain research in particular. So you can always say that I can contribute to welfare, I can contribute to training better because of my sociological understanding of team management, teams building skills will be better because now I've understood. So that is where you can talk about. But don't directly take them there. It can also, it can take a sufficient time also. You would rather want the board to concentrate on the areas which are your strengths. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Ritik can go ahead and ask his question.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, very good evening.
Sir, I have written my hobby as a traveling, one hobby.
Okay.
So, sir, what type of questions can I expect?
What kind of places have you visited? Which places have you recently visited?
Like, sir, religious places like Varanasi. And,
okay. Varanasi is famous for which temple? Which train runs between Varanasi and Delhi, which is the fastest? Okay, Varanasi had got certain development projects. What kind of difference could you see in the city? See, just like this, I'm sitting in front of you and I'm thinking whatever comes to my mind about Varanasi, or because most of these civil servants, to be honest, would have at least whosoever in front of you, I'm pretty sure would have visited Varanasi, 3-4 people. And from their own experiences, they'll ask. There is no proper format the way they'll ask. But the way I'm asking, this is what I've read or what I know about it, I'll ask. This is how board will ask. So you have to see what you've seen. If you've not seen, I've not seen that while I went there. I tried seeing maximum places, but it was not possible. I had to move to other place. That's it.
Okay. Yes, sir. One more thing, sir. Sir, like I have done BTech in mechanical engineering. So,
Mhm.
sir, to what extent I need to prepare that, sir? Because it's not possible to read everything about my
Which
graduation.
engineering? Which engineering?
Mechanical.
I did my electronics communication engineering. 3 questions were asked, and it was 3-4 years, 2-3 years. I hadn't touched. One I was able to answer. Two I couldn't. I said, I'm sorry, I couldn't recall. It said fine. If you cannot see, know the basics of it. Basics
Yes.
of just the basics. At least basic. It is expected you should know. They go into core. If you don't, it's fine. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. And Nitish Kumar, I'll ask first to
Yes, sir.
ask question. Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Very
So
good evening.
actually, I come from a Sainik school. So how would I justify my preference of CISF? That my first aim of life is not to join Indian Armed Forces, but CISF. How can I justify, sir?
Okay. So haven't you given any CDS or any NDA exam ever?
Yeah, yes, sir. I have given CDS and DA.
So talk
And
about
7
that.
time
Sainik school talks about service.
Yes,
In
sir.
services, we have armed forces of Union, multiple, right? You have
Yes, sir.
Army, Air Force, Navy, and you have Central
Yes,
Armed
sir.
Police Forces. I've been trying for
Yes.
Army, but due to certain situations, I couldn't. But by default, I'm also means this is my alternate for that, or not alternate,
Yes.
but you can say that, see, at the end, I want to wear uniform, something I've been motivated from my young age. And I know either way, I'll be serving the nation. That's it.
Sir, during my school days, we had a tour to a nuclear power plant where CISF, we know that CISF are deployed. So can I mention about this incident?
Yes, you can.
That I was inspired over there.
You know, I met with some senior officer. We saw that, and then I was inspired.
Yes.
The kind of okay, but be
Then
natural.
how
But don't
can I say,
make things up if you've not seen that.
yes, sir. Sir, how can I say that if you are studying in Sainik school and you saw CISF officer, then CISF become your first preference? How?
See, some like many people I know, they'll say that we saw an IES. That is when we decided we'll become this. This is how young age you receive, receptivity is like that. You relate with something and you want to follow that. And you be honest about it, that given that age, I could see them, how they were functioning, how they came, how they went. And then I, with my little exposure at that time, or gradually when I came to Delhi, if you have ever seen Delhi Metro or an airport and this, then I could see that the diversity of role as well. And then I decided, okay, this is what I should fully dedicate myself to. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Nabil Khan can go first with his question.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening.
Actually, I am having a doubt. I recently joined as a constable in Madhya Pradesh Police, and my joining was after filling up of DEF. So it is not mentioned over there. Sir,
Do mention it.
Sir, but I've done my schooling from DPS and I've done civil engineering. And my father was an inspector in police and my mother was also working. So isn't this
it can go against you or it can go in favor, either way. Yes, let me be honest. Now, it is how you present it. If you say that for me, Sarkari Naukri was everything, right? Or second thing is, see, they can go also, I'll tell you that the minimum qualification was this 10th or 12th, right?
Yes, sir.
But you've taken up a job of someone, you've done engineering, someone who was not, couldn't appear for CAPF, you're basically taking away. I know a lot of constables who've become assistant commandants, a lot of, and the way, as far as I know, they, the background they come for, they justify that and they say step by step, we wanted to go in that direction. But here, if your schooling is fine, I think so, you can also skip. But background check, resignation, won't be much problem, but you can skip, because if it is not mentioned one and your schooling and engineering, everything, most chances are they'll grill you on it. An entire interview will go in it.
Yes, sir. This is the thing I'm worried about, because if they come to the policing aspects, and I have recently skipped the training as well. I didn't went for training.
So if you skip the training, then don't mention. Skip it altogether. Okay. Yeah. Rashi Bhardwaj can go and ask her question.
Very good evening, sir.
Very good evening.
Sir, I was recommended for the Indian Army in 2019.
Okay.
But I got merit out with AIR 19.
Okay.
The induction stopped at All India rank 16 and it had only 12 seats for women then.
Okay.
After that, I did not try for CDS. as it was
Fine.
providing me only short service commission. And it was
Right,
only
right.
later in 2020 that the
That
permanent
was the
commission
court,
judgment of the
permanent
Supreme
commission
Court. Yes, sir.
started, right?
Do I need to mention this to the board?
It's your strength. Do mention that, see, in your DAF, you would have mentioned I appeared for CDS and you cleared the interview. And
Yes,
were you
sir.
recommended?
Yes, sir.
You've written
Yes,
yes?
sir. I was recommended. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
They'll surely ask then. If anyone sees that, right? That, okay, it should work in your strength. That I was recommended at that time. So thereafter, I didn't go for CDS because my orientation, because at that time, I felt that 2-3 years have gone by and I would rather work for in CAPFs, where CISF talk about that more and more women are trying. I heard a speech of Rajnath Singh where he's talked about more women should be inducted in CAPF. I also thought that this is area where, working directly in internal security can work in my favor. I want to work. So your CSF is your first preference?
Yes, sir. No,
Yeah.
so the particular question was, do I need to mention about the short service commission that the army was providing?
Yes, you do have to mention. At that time, because of, firstly only 12 seats were there, 16,
Yes, sir.
then because of, if they ask then further, why didn't you again go for it? Then say that I didn't because of short service commission then. It was only in 21 Supreme Court came out with a judgment to make it an option for permanent commission. So, but I thought of rather preparing at that time, since I was already preparing for CAPF, I thought to dedicate my energy here. That's it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Gopal can go ahead.
Sir, can you tell us what are the latest technologies being used by CSF, and also what are the challenges faced by CSF, sir? Can you tell us about
any kind of, except the huge drones which India is procuring, almost all the latest weapons which are currently available in India, and especially the modern ones, are available with CISF. Be it, see, AK and INSAS are very simple. Okay, that is everyone. But MP5, latest variants of Glock, everything. But then you have to understand it's basically in the context of urban warfare. So they do not have MMGs. Now, in terms of equipments, they mostly focus on bomb detection. They have night vision, right? See, this you'll get to know from just Google it, you'll get to know. They also, majorly work for upgradation of equipments in the industries, like state-of-the-art CCTV systems are there nowadays. That intrusion detection systems are there across the periphery. Okay, these are some kind of equipments which CISF is using. Of course, drones are also used now in certain areas like coal mines, in bigger industries, in steel plants and all. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Akash can go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening.
Sir, in the hobbies, I have written my hobby as watching Hindi parallel cinema of the 70s and 80s, sir. Sir, what should I prepare regarding this?
Now, this is where they'll surely love to ask you, because the retired ones would be ones who've grown in 60s and 70s.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And they'll now be, they'll see, now what you need to know is, firstly, what you've actually seen.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who are the actors, actress, director, music director. Music is something they'll be closely related with. Music director, singer, like that. What do you feel the difference between current movies and the movies of that era? Were they better, this better? These kind of debates are always there. Be better clear with your answer on that. Okay. This is the only things they'll go into.
Sir, except for the music, sir, I'm prepared for everything else, but for music, I don't know, sir, anything, sir, because in most of the movies I have seen, there was no music in them.
Yeah. So the movies which you've prepared, if there is no music there, then it is fine.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Anyone else who has any question? Yeah, Priyanka can go ahead and ask. Yes, Priyanka, you can go ahead, unmute and please ask. Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
So my question is that, sir, how can I justify my first preference as CISF being a female,
CISF as a,
first preference.
I
So
need to
should I
go.
mention that angle also, that being a female, it is very
No,
balancing, something like that?
no, don't mention that. Mention what are your strengths. See, every force today has, even the CRPF has, SSB, ITBP. I know in my batch, out of 45 then in 2014 onwards, when we started training, we had 2 as female officers. There are female officers in every ITBP also, SSB also, CRPF also has. But I think so BSF also has inducted battalion, women battalions are there now. But so the thing is, now don't say that because it suits me more. It shows that you are not ready to take on challenges at a advance. So like Usha Kiran, I think so, was one of the assistant commandants who actually joined CRPF and joined Cobra. And yeah, so now women also are ready to take on challenges. Don't show that since I'm a woman, I feel I'll be more comfortable, or but you can think of something which is in your profile which can be more suitable in a CSF job. Like you can talk about, see, it's a force of future. Challenges won't be conventional, but will be more unconventional. We are in a era of hybrid warfare or hybrid security threats, and CSF will be one of those force who will be at receiving ends. Its current role is much limited to physical security, but there is growing integration between physical and information security. Hence, I feel, given the in future the challenges will grow, the diversity in force will be helpful. And given that more and more women are joining and the strength has increased, provide data from 9% to 14%, the strength has increased in last 5 years for women. That means that more women officers are also required. I feel that I can do better justice there than in any other force. This way.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. I hope the session was fruitful. Certain points. Now, one very important thing, 2 things I'll quickly speak. Anyone who wants to schedule a session, not a session, but a call, 5 minute to 7 minutes call personally with me, can directly text me on. So it will be, of course, this is not paid, absolutely free. I can talk to them about what they are up to and how they are doing and what they plan to do and all for interview. I can just guide them, given the time, whatever, honest guidance. And you have to schedule that. So I have to make sure in next 2 to 3 days, I'll take out time and give you a call. I'll message you the time on which I'll be calling you. So you have to text me on my Telegram number, which is available on the page, right? So I can get back to you and text you about how I would help you, right? So still, if there is anything else, you can directly message me. I hope session was fruitful, and all the very best to you for this year's interview. My wishes are that everyone, whosoever has been part of this session and whosoever I get talked to, I get selected. This is my only wish. My only wish is that the best comes your way, but idea is to be just stay strong and keep moving ahead, forging it. And I'll sign off with one simple quote, which is, we are not limited by our potential, but by our thought. So don't let your thought limit you. Okay. All the very best and have an awesome interview. Okay, you take care. Bye. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.